Hello everybody and welcome to SnackTube. Today I have got something from the foreign food aisle from my local Morrison's as per usual. And this is something that I figured I would get because it sounded quite nice. This is ramen. It is the Demae Ramen from Nissin. Now this one is the Tonkotsu flavour. I actually picked up a few other flavours as well. I picked up a spicy one and try to think what the other one was. I can't remember. Sesame. That's what it was. It was a sesame flavour. I picked up a couple of those to give them a try. So I'll try them for you guys very soon. As well as a bunch of other stuff, of course. But I figured I would try this one first because I think it's probably the most normal flavour. As weird as that sounds actually because it's called Tonkotsu. But it's pretty typical Japanese flavour Tonkotsu. So I figured I would give that a try. Now, this one, as you can see, should be served with some nice pork, some nice spring onions, and a bit of carrot. I don't have any of that, so it's just the soup. It's right here. Look at those noodles. Yeah, so there's a nice wee boy on the packet who's going to deliver your noodles for you. That's very nice. Now, this was pretty cheap. I got this in Morrison's for like 50p or something like that. So pretty cheap, and ramen noodles tend to be pretty cheap anyway. It was easy enough to prepare. You pretty much just put it in some boiling water for 3 minutes. Once that's done, you add a couple of sachets. So it comes with the noodles in the packet, and then you get 2 sachets. This one has like the seasoning powder in it, and this one has the seasoning oil. So that should add a good bit of flavour. Now, don't know if you know what tonkotsu is. It basically means pork bones. It was created on an island back in the day in Japan. I forget the name of it. It's like Tonkotsu or something like that. Apparently, according to Wikipedia anyway. And it's ramen and broth. The soup broth is made from pork bones that have been boiled for hours and hours and hours. So I imagine that's probably roughly how they make this. Of course, it comes in powdered form, which is actually fairly easy to do to make broth. You just kind of make the broth and then you dehydrate it to get the powder. I watched that on a YouTube video. So yeah, porky broth, and you get this in your standard Japanese shops, Japanese ramen places. They'll do tonkotsu. Normally it'll come with like some crispy tonkotsu pork on it and all that, and that stuff is dynamite. So let's have a wee look and see what is actually involved in this. So yeah, all the ingredients are in various colours. I'm just wondering, this is tonkotsu is a Japanese flavour. I don't know if this brand is actually Japanese, because I've had ramen before and it's been Korean rather than Japanese. I'm just trying to have a look. Licensed by Nissin Foods Holdings Co. Limited, Japan. So it is a Japanese one, which is nice. So what is actually in it? So it's a soup with instant noodles, Asian style, tonkotsu flavour. Ingredients: noodles 84.5%, which are made from wheat flour, palm oil, salt, flour treatment agents E500 and E451, stabilizers E501, thickener E412, antioxidant E306. Loads of E numbers. The Japanese do not shy away from their E numbers. The seasoning powder, which is 8.8%, has salt, milk powder, sesame seeds, sugar, flavour enhancers, which are E621 and E635, garlic, pork extract, leek, spices, soy salt. That sounds about normal, with preservatives in it. The sesame oil, it's got rapeseed oil flavourings, may contain traces of celery, crustacean, fish, mollusks, and mustard. So not too bad. Pretty simple ingredients, really, to be fair. Pork broth is fairly straightforward normally. Salt and pork, and a couple of maybe vegetables for aroma. Of course, they put a bunch of E numbers in this so you can packet it and put it in a thing that will last for 5 million years. But there you go. So what is the damage here? This is a 100-gram packet. They say after preparation it's 500 millilitres. Technically it's more than that because I put 500 millilitres of water and the noodles. Okay, maybe some of the water is boiled away, but yeah, it's a little bit more than that when you actually add up. So typical nutritional values per 100 millilitres prepared product. So if we're going by the 500 millilitres, that it says that this is. So per 100 milliliters, you got 87 calories. So what's that? Maths. 400 and something calories, which is all right. Fat, there would be about 20 grams of fat, which is quite a lot. Saturates would be, wow, almost 10 grams of saturates. About 8.6 grams of saturates, something like that. That's bad. That is really bad for you. Carbohydrates, 10.1 grams, so about 50.5 grams of carbs. That's all the noodles, of course. And the sugars in that would be about 2.5 grams, which isn't too bad. Protein, about 10, just over 10 grams of protein, and then about 5 grams of salt. So yeah, these will last a long time and they'll be delicious, and the actual calories in them isn't too bad, but wow, they have a lot of saturated fat. That's a lot more saturated fat than I was expecting. I know that pork can be quite fatty, especially when you're using a broth of pork, I suppose, but yeah, that is a lot of saturated fat for one meal. And this is me just on my lunch. Right, well, I think we've talked enough. Let's give it a try then. So these are Nissan Demae Ramen, Tonkotsu flavour. Let's give them the old taste test. Oh, I should show you them actually. So there they are there. It's noodles with broth, and there's some like herby stuff and some sesame seeds in there. Pretty straightforward, I suppose. Right, let's do this. Let's give it the old taste test here. Probably should have got a fork rather than a spoon. You know what I'm going to do? For God's sake, I should have got a fork. You get a big giant lump of them so that some of them stay on. Okay, here we go. I don't own chopsticks, so I can't use chopsticks. I've heard that the noodles in a tonkotsu are supposed to be served a bit hard in the centre. And I followed the instructions on the packet to the letter. I don't know if it's trying to follow that traditional recipe or not, but those noodles are not hard in the centre. They're cooked all the way through, which is fine. It's just apparently the traditional is supposed to be crunchy in the centre. Just trying a bit of the broth on its own. You get that whole hint of sesame in there, definitely. It's very, very salty. I mean, how much salt was actually in this? 5 grams of salt? Yeah, that's a lot. I think you're only supposed to have like 9 grams of salt a day. Yeah, that is very, very salty, which is nice. Kind of taste the porky brothiness to it, which is good. And I want a big thing of noodles here. Got to slurp your noodles. So it is nice. It is pretty nice. The noodles are decent. Ramen noodles are always pretty good anyway. I would have liked them maybe a bit firmer, so I could probably have cooked them a little bit less. But they're still pretty good. They're still good on their own anyway. The broth, it's quite salty. Definitely with that kind of pork flavour, and you've got that hint of sesame in the back there as well. I don't think there's onions in this at all, is there? Because I want to say that it's got a little bit of an oniony flavour. I think it's more it's more garlic. Yeah, it's kind of garlicky. There's a very slight garlic flavour, and I suppose there's leeks, which are technically an onion. So you've got that. You can really taste the oniony kind of leaky flavour. Leeks go great with pork. So yeah, that's really nice. Definitely better than a bowl of super noodles or something. That is a very nice ramen, I have to say. There's no spiciness to it at all. I like my ramen to be a little bit spicy. This has got no spicy at all. I would probably compare this pretty much to the Tonkotsu flavoured cup noodles that I had a wee while ago. It's very similar to that in flavour. Just maybe not quite as convenient because you've got to actually make it in a pot rather than just doing it. Well, you've got to do it in a pan rather than just pouring boiling water into a cup. But it's nice, and I think if I think these things are really good as a base for a larger meal. Let's see if you made some pork to go with that, put some spring onions on it, maybe a few more vegetables or something. That would make for a fantastic dinner. Of course, I'm only just making this for lunch, and I'm just wanted something quick, so it works for that too, because it is nice on its own without all the extras. If you want to lift your ramen to the next level, chuck more stuff in it. It's a pretty simple way of going about it, really. Yeah, very nice. Pork flavoury, very salty. You can see the oil all on the top of it. It's not good for you by any means, but it is nice. Very nice, and yeah, I would buy that again. Definitely. Right, well, that'll do us for today. That was the Nissin Demae Ramen Tonkotsu flavour from Japan. If you like this video, give it the old thumbs up, hit the bell to get notifications anytime one of my videos comes out, and subscribe to the channel, of course. And now that you're done with this video, just head on over to SnackTube, over to the channel, have yourselves a SnackTube marathon. There's hundreds of videos on there for you to enjoy. And just leave me a comment and let me know if there's anything else that you want me to try, because I'm willing to try pretty much anything, so let me know. Well, that'll be it for today from me. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.